At game's start, the destiny of the Middle Kingdom remains uncertain. While the Red Turban rebellions are still successful in driving out the Mongol Yuan, Zhou Yongzhang never ascended to establish the Ming dynasty. Instead, China is currently split into the dominions of the northern Shen Han, the southern Song, and a western clique of competing warlords with Yuan remnants struggling among them. The northern Shen Han dynasty shares no relation to its bygone namesake. It was founded by prominent Red Turban leader Chen Youliang, who declared himself Dai Emperor of Great Han in 1360. While the lands of the Chen Han dynasty have been made beggar by years of war and Mongol exploitation, its military apparatus is formidable and has stifled the expansion of the wealthier Song. Chen Han's fate now relies on how its current emperor deals with the realm's increasingly autonomous princes, such as the powerful Prince of Zhou. The restored Song dynasty of South China also owes its existence to the Red Turban rebellions, when Hanlin was declared as Longfeng Emperor by his own generals. His legitimacy as emperor was supported by the White Lotus sect, a religious movement based off a blend of Maitreyan Buddhist and Manichaean beliefs. They were a key component to the success of the rebellions. In their eyes, the Longfeng Emperor and his successors are the divine incarnation of the Maitreya Buddha, who will unify and enlighten China. This sentiment is reflected in Song's religious gameplay as the only Maitreya attack. Each Song ruler accumulates their own Mingwang influence, and the player uses this to pass powerful decrees that reset upon ruler death. While Song is wealthier than their northern adversary, its government is far weaker, with a warlord aristocracy that hinders its strength, and an ignorant population that are yet to accept White Lotus teachings. Guangzhou, Mengzi, and Yunnan are the Yuan fragments still clinging to power on the edges of China. Being ruled by the Kublaids, Yunnan has the best claim to restore the Yuan to their former glory, but must expedite its wars of reconquest and catch up to Song and Shen Han before one overwhelms the other. Guangzhou, a military holder of Yuan loyalists, similarly wants to restore the crumbling dynasty while keeping true power in the hands of its Han Chinese generals. By paying lip service to the Song, Guangzhou is free to expand into the lesser Chinese states, to consolidate power and eventually turn on their overlord. The Al-Bukhari of Mengzi owed their existence to the Mongol Yuan when they appointed Sayyid Ajar Shams al-Din Omar, an Iranian, to govern the lands of Yunnan in 1274. As a direct vassal of the Kublaids, the House of Bukhari has rapidly fleeting significance. Should they seize upon future opportunity, the emirate may see itself overshadow the dying Yuan and conquer China for itself. China's nomadic frontier finds itself in a shattered state following Balad Timur's vain attempt to crown himself as Khagan. Kongirat, ruled by Balad Timur's own clan, has a strong chance of piecing Mongolia back together, but must do so before their rival Naiman, or the Western Oirat clans, grow beyond their own strength. Liao, a fragment of the Emir Khanate, is under the control of the Asud clan. They are devout Catholics, who sheltered the Archbishop of Khanbalik during the turbulence of the Yuan dynasty's collapse. Restoring the Archdiocese of Khanbalik and reconnecting with the Catholic world is just one aspect of their ambition. In Korea, the Song have secured a foothold in Gyeongju. Jeju is an island thriving with pirates who compete with their Japanese counterpart in Tsushima. Sangyeong and Haryong will both chart their own courses to see Korea reunited and safe from outsider rabble. While the reforms of the late Emperor Go-Daigo have kept control of Japan in the imperial family's hands, the Shugo, the military-minded regional governors, each dream of a new Kamakura period, a time where Japan is ruled by a shogunate and not its emperor. Shimazu, Hosokawa, Hatakeyama, and Nitta each have a strong chance at forging their own new shogunate. The current Emperor Tsuneyatsu has shown himself to be capable, but is hesitant to enforce his authority when it will cause conflict. This has allowed his Shugo vassals to creep ever closer to dominating the country. Should the government in Kyoto fail to keep the Shugo in check, Japan will see itself overwhelmed by civil conflict once more. That brings us to the end of our look at East Asia. Thank you for joining me. In the next video, we will look at both India and Southeast Asia of Gods and Kings.